My child, I want to speak to you today about something that has been taken from you without your full awareness of the taking. Something that was designed as one of my greatest gifts to you, and that has been reframed by the world around you, and sometimes by the religious culture that was supposed to point you toward me into something shameful and inadequate and spiritually suspect. I want to speak to you about rest, not the concept of rest as an approved theological principle, the actual experience of rest. The genuine stopping and the genuine stillness and the genuine releasing of the forward motion that your body and your spirit and your mind have been needing for longer than you have given yourself permission to acknowledge. And I want to say something to you that I need you to actually receive rather than pass over on the way to the next obligation. Your rest is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is not a failure of faith or a lack of dedication or a spiritual deficiency that needs to be overcome with more effort. Your rest is where I restore you. It is one of the primary locations of my most significant work in your life, and the continued depriving of yourself of it is not faithfulness. It is the refusal of a gift I designed specifically for you. I know what the voice in your head says about rest. I have heard it. I know the specific form it takes in you, the particular way it has been shaped by everything you have absorbed from the culture of productivity that surrounds you, from the specific messages of the people and the institutions that formed you, from the particular wounds and the particular fears that have made stopping feel dangerous. The voice says, there is too much to do. The voice says, other people are further ahead and moving faster, and you cannot afford to slow down. The voice says, rest is for when everything is finished, and everything is never finished. The voice says, the people who are counting on you cannot afford for you to stop. The voice says, your value is measured by your output, and resting is not producing output, and therefore resting is not valuable. I know that voice. I have been listening to it speak over you for a long time, and I want to address it directly and replace what it has been saying with what is actually true. The world you live in measures worth by productivity. It assigns value to effort and output and the visible achievement of visible results. And this measurement has seeped into how you understand yourself, how you evaluate your own worth, how you assess whether a day was good or wasted. The day that was fully productive is the good day. The day that included genuine rest is the day that needs to be justified. And this has produced in you a person who is chronically behind on the rest that was designed to sustain the life, who pushes through when the body and the spirit are signaling that pushing through is no longer serving what it is supposed to serve, who mistakes the exhaustion of sustained effort for the faithfulness of sustained commitment. I did not design you for that. I want to say that clearly and without qualification. I did not design you to operate without genuine rest. I designed your body to require it, and your spirit to need it, and your mind to depend on it. Not as a weakness in the design, but as a feature of it. A built-in rhythm that I wove into the very structure of what it means to be human. When I rested on the seventh day, it was not because I was tired. It was because I was modeling something, establishing a rhythm, demonstrating that the stopping is part of the design and not a concession to limitation. The rest I am speaking of is not irresponsibility. It is not the abandonment of what matters or the neglect of what requires your faithful engagement. It is the specific and intentional choosing to stop, to receive, to allow the replenishment that the continued giving requires, to let the interior go quiet enough to receive what I have been trying to give in the noise and the motion. It is the trust that says I can stop because what I am building does not depend on my continuous effort to sustain it. It is the faith that releases the forward motion long enough to be genuinely restored before resuming it. I restore in the rest. That is what I want you to understand most deeply from this message. Not that rest is permissible or defensible or reasonable accommodation to human limitation. That it is where I do some of my most significant work in you. The restoration of what has been depleted. The healing of what the sustained effort has pressed and strained. The speaking that I have been trying to do into the interior that has been too full of the noise of the doing to hear what I have been saying. The revealing of what the busyness has been covering. The building of what can only be built in the quiet. All of that happens in the rest. And when you refuse the rest, you are not only depleting yourself, you are refusing the restoration I was prepared to give you in it. If this message is finding you exhausted today, if something in you recognized itself in these words before I finished speaking them, type I receive your rest, Lord, in the comments. Let that be your declaration that you are choosing to receive what I am giving, that you are opening your hands to the gift of genuine rest, that you are willing to stop long enough to be restored. And if this message has guided you, strengthened you, and helped you see your path clearly, then like, subscribe, and share this message. For ways to support this ministry, see the pinned comment below so others can receive this message at the right time. I want to name the specific lies that have been spoken over rest, because they are numerous and they are powerful, and they have been operating in you with an authority they were never entitled to, and the naming of them is the beginning of their displacement. The lies about rest are not abstract or general. They are specific, and they have been delivered through specific voices and specific contexts and specific experiences, and they have accumulated in the interior to produce a person who does not know how to stop without guilt. The first lie is that rest must be earned, that you are entitled to stop only after the work is done, only after the sufficient effort has been made, only after you have proven through the visible productivity that the stopping is justified. This lie has convinced you that rest is the reward for sufficient achievement, and because the achievement is never sufficient, and the work is never fully done, the rest never fully arrives without the guilt of the incomplete list following it into whatever space you have tried to claim for the stopping. The truth is that rest is not the reward for completed work. It is the provision that makes the work sustainable. It is what I give so that the giving can continue. It is the rhythm I built into the design before the fall, and before the brokenness, and before the particular responsibilities of your particular life ever existed. You do not earn the right to rest through sufficient productivity. You receive it as a gift that was yours from the beginning. The second lie is that your value is measured by your output, that who you are is determined by what you produce, that the day of genuine rest is a day of diminished worth, because nothing was accomplished that can be counted or measured or presented as evidence of a life well lived. This lie has taught you to assess your days by their productivity, and to feel the quiet shame of the day that was restful but not productive, the day that restored you but produced nothing that could be shown. The truth is that your worth was established before you ever produced anything. It was given to you in the act of your creation, in the breathing of my image into your form, in the declaring of you as good before you had done anything to earn or justify the declaration. Your value is not measured by your output. It is inherent in your existence as my beloved child. The third lie is that rest is selfish when others need you, that the stopping of your effort when people are depending on you is the abandoning of love and the choosing of your comfort over their need. This lie has convinced you that the only evidence of genuine love is the continuous availability, the unending responsiveness, the sacrifice of your own replenishment for the sake of others' immediate needs. The truth is that the sustainable love, the love that can continue to give without collapsing into resentment or depletion, is the love that knows how to receive. The love that rests is not the love that has abandoned responsibility. It is the love that has learned the rhythm of filling and pouring, of receiving and giving, of stopping long enough to be genuinely restored, so that the giving can continue from fullness, rather than from the exhausted dregs of a depleted interior. The fourth lie is that exhaustion is a badge of spiritual faithfulness, that the tiredness of sustained overextension is the evidence of serious commitment, that the person who is most tired is the person who is most dedicated. This lie has reframed the warning signal of the design as a mark of honor, has convinced you that the body's cry for rest is a weakness to be overcome, rather than a wisdom to be heeded. The truth is that exhaustion is not a spiritual virtue. It is a signal, a clear and loving communication from the design I put in you that says the rhythm has been disrupted, and the restoration is needed, and the continuing without it is not producing greater faithfulness, but greater fragility. I do not honor the exhaustion. I honor the obedience that receives the rest when the rest is needed. The fifth lie is that rest requires perfect conditions, that you cannot genuinely stop until the circumstances are ideal, until everything is resolved, until the perfect time arrives when nothing else needs your attention. This lie has kept you waiting for the rest that never comes because the perfect conditions never arrive, and the ideal circumstances never materialize. And there is always one more thing that seems to require your immediate response. The truth is that rest does not require perfect conditions. It requires permission. The permission to stop even when the list is incomplete, the permission to receive even when the circumstances are not ideal, the permission to honor the rhythm even when the timing is not perfect. The rest I am offering you is available now, in the middle of the imperfect circumstances of your actual life, not someday when everything finally settles. These lies have been living in you, shaping how you move through your days, determining what you permit yourself and what you deny yourself. And I am naming them so that you can begin to recognize them as lies rather than truths. Not because the naming alone displaces them, but because the naming is the beginning of the displacement, the first step in the opening of your hands to receive what I have been holding ready for you all along. The rest I designed for you is not the collapsing at the end of the depleted day. It is not the exhausted scrolling or the numbing or the escape into whatever will quiet the noise for a moment. It is the genuine stopping, the intentional receiving, the opening to what I want to give in the quiet that the noise has been covering. It begins with permission, the permission to stop even when the voice says you should not, the permission to receive even when the guilt follows you into the stopping, the permission to honor the design even when honoring it feels like the abandoning of what matters. And I am the one giving you that permission right now, not as a distant theological principle, but as a direct and personal word spoken into the specific exhaustion of your specific life. You may stop, you may receive. The things that seem to require your continuous effort are held by me when you step back. The world does not collapse in the hours of your genuine rest. What you release into my hands while you rest is worked with more thoroughly and more wisely than what your exhausted effort was producing. I want you to practice something right now in this moment, as a beginning, not as the fullness of what the genuine rest will become in your life, but as the first step. The first small opening. I want you to stop for just these next few moments, not to think about rest or to analyze your need for it, or to make plans for implementing it better in the future. Simply to stop, to let the forward motion pause, to allow this moment to be a moment of genuine receiving, rather than another moment of performing or producing or moving toward the next thing. Let your body settle. Let the tension in your shoulders release, even slightly. Let your breath slow, not because I am requiring a particular quality of spiritual experience, but because your body knows how to receive rest when you give it permission. And the physical settling is often the beginning of the interior opening. And in this brief stopping, simply receive. Do not perform. Do not produce. Do not achieve a particular quality of spiritual experience that validates the stopping. Simply receive. Let what I am giving in this moment of genuine stopping be given. It may come as a quality of warmth in the interior. It may come as a fractional quieting of the loudest noise. It may come as a specific thought that arrives with the quality of something given rather than something generated. It may come as nothing that can be identified as a specific experience, but as a quality of the moment that is slightly different from the quality of the moment before it. Whatever arrives, let it be enough. Do not demand more of this moment than it is able to give. Receive what is given in this moment, and then when the moment of this specific stopping is complete, carry it forward with you. Carry the memory of having stopped and having received, however briefly and however imperfectly, as the first evidence that the genuine rest I have been describing is actually available to you, actually produces something when you actually open to it, actually worth making room for in the structure of your life going forward. Type "I enter into your rest" right now in the comments. Let that be your declaration, not of a future intention, but of a present choosing. The declaration that you are receiving what is available in this moment, that you are entering the rest that is genuinely open to you right now, that something is happening in this stopping that is real and worth honoring. We have come to the end of this time together, and I want to close not by summarizing what has been said, but by sending you forward with the permission that has been spoken over you in this time, still active, still ringing in the interior, still doing what it was sent to do in the specific places where the lie about rest has been living. You may stop, you may receive. Your rest is not weakness. It is where I restore you. You came to these words tired, I know that. Not simply the tiredness of a single difficult day, but the tiredness that has been accumulating through the days and the seasons of the sustained overextension, the particular tiredness of a person who has been giving beyond their capacity to give without genuine replenishment. That tiredness is real. It has been real for longer than you have fully acknowledged, and I have seen it all, every tired morning, and every depleted afternoon, and every evening when the energy was gone before the obligations were, and I have been preparing the rest that the tiredness needs throughout all of it. I want you to leave this message with one truth settled more deeply than it was when you arrived. Rest is not what you earn when the work is finished. It is what I give so that the work can continue to be genuinely itself. It is the filling of the vessel that the pouring out requires. It is the hearing that the speaking has been preparing. It is the receiving that the giving was always meant to be balanced by. It is the place where I do my most significant and most personal work in your interior. The work that cannot happen in the motion, that requires the stopping to begin, that has been waiting in the quiet for you to arrive. I want to say something to the specific tiredness you are carrying right now. Not generically, but personally. I see it. I know its specific weight and its specific history and its specific people and responsibilities and wounds and commitments that have contributed to its accumulation. I am not asking you to perform strength you do not have. I am not asking you to push through one more time from the reserves that have already been overdrawn. I am asking you to stop. I am asking you to bring the tiredness to me and to let me do what the tiredness needs, which is not more of your effort, but the genuine receiving of my restoration. Go forward from here with the rest as a priority rather than a luxury. Go forward with the permission I have given you ringing louder than the guilt that has been keeping you from what you need. Go forward with the practices, however small and however imperfect at first, of building the genuine stopping into the actual structure of your actual days. Go forward knowing that what you rest from is held by me, that the things that seem to require your continuous effort are genuinely in my hands when you step back from the straining, that the world does not collapse in the hours of your genuine rest, but continues to be held by the one who holds everything, and who is never waiting for your exhausted effort to keep it together. And go forward knowing that I am not asking for the perfect rest before I begin the restoration. I am not requiring a particular quality of stillness, or a particular absence of the guilt, or a particular spiritual readiness before the work of the rest begins in you. I begin in whatever opening is available. The smallest moment of genuine stopping is an opening I can work with. The briefest turn toward me in the middle of the tired day is the beginning of the receiving. The first imperfect and guilty and anxious attempt at genuine rest is the beginning of the rhythm that will become more natural with every repetition. Rest, my child. It is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is not the abandoning of what matters or the failure of the faithful. It is the honoring of the design I put in you, the receiving of the gift I have been holding ready, the trusting that what you release into my hands while you rest is held completely and worked with thoroughly and returned to you in a form more genuinely useful than what the exhausted effort was producing. Rest. It is where I restore you, and the restoration has already begun. Type I rest in you now and always. You carry this permission out of this encounter and into the actual rhythms of your actual life, the choosing of the rest as the genuine and non-negotiable provision that the life I have for you requires, the opening of your hands to what has been prepared for you, in the stopping that love and wisdom and the design of your Maker have always been inviting you into. And if this message has guided you, strengthened you, and helped you see your path clearly, then like, subscribe, and share this message. For ways to support this ministry, see the pinned comment below so others can receive this message at the right time.